Listen, I can't gloss over what was, without doubt, the worst Liverpool performance I've seen under Jurgen Klopp. Now,
really?
That might sound very
Worst
dramatic.
ever.
Yeah, no, I'm going for it, because in the other big losses that we've had under Klopp, at least we scored a goal. You look at the Aston Villa 7-2. We scored 2 in that game, right? We conceded 7. But we did not create 1/4 of a chance against Brighton on Saturday.
Completely
in actual fact, if you go back to the Saturday football show, we had Ben on from Seagull Social, big Brighton fan. Fair play to him for not rubbing it in that much. But, I mean, I can talk about how poor they were. I wanted to get your thoughts as well. 3-0. The scoreline definitely didn't even flatter Liverpool. It could have been 4 or 5. Awful performance. And Klopp even admitted it was his worst game he's ever managed.
Like, it's weird because you did the same thing against Brentford as well. Like, obviously you scored a goal.
At least we scored in that game.
But
Nunes had one cleared off the line. We had chances. In this game, we had no chances.
You had chances, but like, you got battered by Brentford.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely battered by them. And then to go to Brighton and do the same thing, it's just, I think it's the end of the Klopp era.
You think he's going to go?
Yeah, it's done.
I don't agree with that. Klopp out for me is never the answer.
I understand.
The wheels are falling off. Like he's what is it? 7 years? Like
7 years. It's a long time to hear the same voice. Yeah.
But they said that he pretty much did this at Dortmund and at Mainz as well.
Yeah.
So could be time for Jurgen to go.
He's apologising to fans at the end of games. You know, doing the prayer emoji and whatnot. I've never seen Liverpool look so devoid of confidence, and I've never seen Liverpool look so toothless in attack. The defence that's been going on for a while. We've seen the defence falling apart, the midfield
6
not
goals
able to hold it together.
in 2 games.
But Brighton are a top team.
So
that's why, you know, I feel like
I was going to get to that.
And Ben said this as well on Saturday Football Show. It feels like whenever we talk about Brighton beating a big team or Brighton doing a madness in some people's eyes, we seem to like take the credit away from Brighton and say, why was Liverpool so bad? And Liverpool have been poor. I've been watching them since the World Cup. They've been awful. They got lucky against Leicester. They were poor against Brentford when they were beaten. They were lucky against Wolves in the Cup with that goal.
Lucky against Villa to win 3-1.
So Liverpool, this is a continuous situation. But for Brighton, the come up right now, you know, they are just playing so well.
Really good.
The energy, they're so direct. Casado, you could see why the price tag is so high. Matoma. Even Ferguson up front. Like,
the young.
Their striker issues were there. Now Welbeck's coming on, flicking ball over people's heads, looking like Messi.
Also, these aren't a lot of them that aren't even new players at Brighton. You know, they've had this well-oiled machine going and this project building from, you know, when Graham Potter was still there. And in my opinion, he laid those foundations in those 3.5 years. And De Zerbi is maybe taking them to a new
level.
But, you know, you've still got the likes of like Pascal Gross. I know Trossard didn't play.
Solly March as well.
Solly March. These are like key, you know, Lewis Dunk. Like these are key players for Brighton who have been there since they came up, and I think it's a real credit to them. Obviously, how they do their business, they sell for a very high price and they reinvest it very, very well. So, you know, absolute credit to Brighton. But you lot,
it's true.
That's what
I can talk,
and to do it without Trossard, with all
without Trossard,
who's actually been like, they're doing well this season, but he's one of their best players. To do that, have that sort of response.
But when you look at Brighton, right, Basuma came out of that team, and everyone was like, you know, Cucurella came out of that team, player of the year. And also Webster's injured, isn't he? And Colwell's come in on loan from Chelsea. He's started to play games, and people are like, oh, what are you going to do replacement-wise? And they always seem to have a plan. They always seem to have some sort of structure recruitment-wise. McAllister was playing high up the pitch. We saw for Argentina playing off the left. In this role, he's playing deeper as a double pivot with Casado. Like, just class. And I feel like, you know what's funny about Brighton? I feel like no matter who comes out of that club, apart from maybe one individual being the top dog, if it's a manager, if it's a player of the year, if it's you know, a marquee player that's had a great season, no matter who comes out, I don't think anything really changes. They just go again. Trossard was leading,
they got a
now they don't even need him.
It's a bit like how Brentford do theirs with that like Moneyball type of transfers. Like, they're very specific and they go off for specific stats and things like that when they're making their recruitment. And I think that even though they sell at such a high price, they don't necessarily go and reinvest at a really high price. They know what they're looking for to basically fit the mould, not ever adapt in the way that they approach games and in their ideologies. And I think that they're such a well-oiled club. In comparison to what's going on with you, I think that's a lot of staleness. And we were talking about it off camera before we started. And since the Champions League, obviously you went up and it's now plateaued, which always happens when you don't reinvest properly, sell at the right time. And we've spoken about your midfield so many times. And up front, there's no potency, there's no high octane football from Liverpool, which is what we're used to. And I think that, you know, you can only really look at the midfield is my key area for Liverpool, where all the issues come from.
And he keeps making excuses about the midfield as well. It's like, sorry, Klopp, you can't be saying all this stuff about,
Like what? What did he say?
So I think I saw a headline like two days ago. He was basically talking about, I think he got asked about the midfield again, and he basically said, like, we can't play this game of transfers. I'm like, what are you talking about? You spent how much money on Darwin Núñez in the summer? You could have bought in some midfielders.
I think the thing for me is I would really struggle knowing that we're going to go through this January window by buying Gakpo, not a midfielder. I would really struggle with that because for me that shows a lack of logic.
Exactly.
It's a lack of
Is that just
awareness.
purchasing for purchasing sake?
I don't agree with that because I also think long-term Gakpo, listen, every top club needs at least 4 or 5 really strong attacking players that you can rotate with. So I don't have a problem with that. I do have a problem with it if you don't fix the other glaring problem that is staring us in the face. The fact that 3 years ago, Liverpool were the highest in sprints, high presses, and distance covered. Okay. Now we're 14th in that table in the Premier League. Wow. So there's your problem. Go and fix it. Now, we know that the Qataris apparently are looking to buy Liverpool now. That's come out yesterday. We're looking at maybe a big lump of cash coming into the club, which we desperately need. If you're FSG, I can kind of understand. They're kind of looking at their exit plan going, well, we're going to sell for a big profit. Do we want to put in another 100 million to get a new midfielder? Probably not. We're on the way out. I understand their part to play here, but unless Liverpool do find a lot of money, and I think it is going to cost around 200 to 300 to really rebuild our midfield, then we're going to see the same kind of results. It's lunacy to expect different results if you're doing the same thing every week.
With Klopp, when did he? Because I don't know. Do you guys remember how bad Dortmund were before he left?
They finished 7th in his last season.
Did he get sacked or did he leave?
He didn't get sacked. He left.
Yeah, they were shocking. Like absolutely shambolic.
They were near the relegation zone. He got them back up to 7th. So again,
not saying Liverpool are going to go that way, but like if you guys were great last season, but if you actually look at Klopp since probably when he got you 4th that time, when you had the likes of Coutinho, Mane that season, whatnot. If you look at Liverpool, they won the league, had that horrendous season,
finished 3rd in that horrendous season. Though.
Yeah, still finished 3rd, but you guys were shocking. Absolutely shocking.
A lot of injuries in that season, wasn't it?
So there. I mean, Reece Williams and Nat Phillips played half the season for us.
Still do, but like shocking. You do better last season. This season
fall off again.
So it's like up, down, yo-yo.
I know what you're saying.
So I'm just thinking, he's deserved what he's done for Liverpool. He deserves time and patience.
Can I ask you this question?
Go for it.
You're saying Klopp out, and I understand that. I mean, real Liverpool fans like myself would never say that because we know that he's not the problem. So if we were to sack Klopp, as people keep saying, who comes in and does better than what he's done? I agree.
You have to look at what's available.
If you're comfortable with saying the era's over, tell me who the new era is then.
That's the thing. That's a good point. I really don't know. I was thinking in my mind Tuchel, but I don't think he comes in and does a better job than Klopp.
I think
he's done miracles. He's worked miracles. There's no one out there better.
But I think if you have a look at who's out there, there is no one out there.
There's no one that comes in. But I'm just thinking. I'm more thinking, does he have enough? Does he have enough vision and? I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for?
I know what you're trying to
say.
Does he have enough? Is he ready to do this again, basically?
He's still got 3 years left on his contract, and no matter how badly we've been playing this season, which we have, I truly believe that there's no better manager out there in world football that has the ability to turn this around again than Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah, you got me there.
He's done it.
You got me there.
And again, if we just said, here's 200 million, then we could really see what he can do.
So, but you said something. You said that, you don't pin it on him. Why not?
The manager has to take some portion of the blame. I'm saying it's probably around 20 to 25% in terms of maybe team selection. Maybe, I don't know, I can't blame him for not rushing back our players soon enough. The Diaz's, the Jotas, the Firminos, the Nunez's, they're 4 massive names that we're missing right now. That's not Klopp's fault. Yeah. There are certain situations in games where he might make the wrong substitution or he might start the wrong player. But the real problem isn't Klopp. The 75% of the blame has to go with the owners.
I agree with you.
I'm sorry, but...
So the owners are the ones saying don't buy a central mid?
He said don't buy a central midfielder in the summer. Let's make that very clear.
He
He said to Liverpool fans, we don't need a central midfielder. We have Curtis Jones. Pep Linders said Curtis Jones is to the same level as Gavi and Pedri.
Then he tracks back and gets Alpha on loan.
That's what they're telling me.
I bought Linda's book. I didn't see that in there.
I don't know where it was. That's what they're telling me. That's what it's all over Twitter. You know what I'm saying? I'm just relaying the information. I ain't gonna fact check it. It ain't my business.
You make a great point.
I watched Gavi at the weekend, and he is
the ideal person to turn it around. You make a good point. But I'm just saying he should take some serious heat for what's going on with Liverpool.
I understand your points, and I think I don't want to come on here and be defensive about my team, but I have to listen to everyone else's opinion and then try and maybe form some kind of a debate to come back at you with. But listen, this
is it just a midfield though? Because the defenders,
no, it isn't actually.
Everyone's out of form. Everyone good is out of form.
The centre backs are
really. Do you know what? I never thought, because when you look at it on paper, Van Dijk, Konate, Gomez, and Matip, and that Phillips there, that's a very good.
It's a lot of quality.
They're good options.
Yeah.
The Brighton game was the first game where I thought, do you know what? I think we need a centre back as well.
You do.
Bardio from Leipzig or something.
That would be nice, right?
Why don't you take Eric Dyer?
Sorry?
No.
Oh no, I didn't hear you. They spoke to me in the ear.
I said, why don't you take Eric Dyer?
No, you're good.
Are you sure?
I'm better than Eric Dyer.
Sure?
No,
Sure?
honestly.
Can't tempt you?
He's
No?
good.
Okay.
He did a good ball last night over the top for Sessegnon. He is good at those.
Certainly
But anyway, are we ready to move on?
Klopp'S right twice today. So.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Are we ready to move on? Sorry?
VVD passed it, Van Dijk passed it.
He's out for a month.
I'm just asking. I'm just raising the point, basically.
I would say, is he past his peak? Maybe.
Because
his peak is still very good, though.
I only said that because, obviously, Klopp shouldn't actually get all of the... But now I think about it, because all of your good players are all simultaneously in shocking form. Like...
There's no one leading them out of this.
But at the same time, listen, Jurgen does have to take some heat just to rattle them lads up again and get them firing again. And I think he is the man to do it. And that's why I don't agree with the Klopp outshouts. I think they're very immature.
You don't think it will be a Wenger situation where he kind of like...
No, what, 18 years?
I don't think it'll be a Wenger.
He's not going to stay that long.
Let me ask, final question. Top four?
No.
Done?
No, not for me anymore.
Come chat to me.
And I actually 2 weeks ago was still saying that we can get top four, but if you lose 3-1 to Brentford, and then 3-0 to Brighton, you don't even deserve to be in the top four. Now, the only thing is, can we still get the big names in the summer without the Champions League football? Arsenal have showed that they can do that. So I think if Arsenal can show they can do that, and surely Liverpool can as well.
Definitely.
But listen, the comments and the